Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Alexander Isak transfer truth slowly emerging as Liverpool well aware of Newcastle weapon. This week's Blood Red column looks ahead to Liverpool's trip to Newcastle United on Monday, a fixture that will have Alexander Isak's long-term future hanging over it. Anyone with a passing interest in Liverpool FC and a For You tab on X this week will be forgiven for thinking Arne Slot and his players have a one-way trip booked to the Lions' Den on Monday night. The fanbase of the Magpies are seemingly so outraged by the Premier League champions' pursuit of Alexander Isak that the first home game of the new season will be more akin to Maximus and his mates being sent out to battle the king of the jungle, if social media is to be believed. Taking the temperature of an entire club's support via the medium of sites like X, formerly Twitter, is always a dangerous and foolhardy pursuit, but there can be little denying that the emotions and, as a result, the atmosphere will be a little more charged than usual given the Isak antics this week. The Sweden international's genuine bombshell, which arrived via his Instagram account on Tuesday night, was exquisitely timed for those who like their transfer sagas to have a little dramatic flourish or two along the way. The PFA's theoretical 24-25 team of the year had barely shuffled off stage left at the Manchester Opera House sans Isak when the man himself, who was conspicuous only by his absence, caused a ripple effect with his explosive online outburst. "I've kept quiet for a long time while others have spoken," he wrote. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. Later that same night, Newcastle, understood to have been blindsided by the statement, hurried out their own repost, essentially telling their number 14 that he would be going nowhere. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team and our supporters in all decisions, and we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired, they wrote. We do not foresee those conditions being met. Liverpool, like everyone else on Planet Football this week, have sat back and watched it all unfold. But while neutrals might have reached for the popcorn as an increasingly ugly saga has plummeted to new depths, the champions themselves have a vested interest, even if Arne Slot was trying his best to play that down in his Thursday press conference. Me and Alex had conversations. Yes, I'm not going to deny that. Howe admitted when asked if Isak had indeed spoken about his wish for pastures new on Friday. Individual conversations are better off remaining private. Yes, we had conversations about his future. That admission is a jarring contrast to the official party line that no talks or indeed promises had been made to the 25-year-old, who scored 23 Premier League goals last term while also firing the Magpies to their first domestic trophy in 70 years in the Carabao Cup. Whatever happens next is unlikely to develop until after Monday night's game, however, even if the furor and the noise will be ratcheted up tenfold in the next day or two. That din is something Newcastle are looking to weaponize, in fact, as they go about landing a decisive blow on the team who covet their star man more than any other just now. If Isak had been told he would be allowed to leave after a superlative campaign in the Northeast, then perhaps he is not the disruptive enemy of the public he has been painted as. There is always two sides to every story, as Howe conceded himself on Friday. Liverpool, meanwhile, have been criticized in some quarters for only offering £110 million at the beginning of the month before backing off and awaiting further encouragement. The idea that was in any way a derisory slap in the face is simply grotesque. The first home game is always going to be electric, Howe added. I love experiencing those nights with the energy that the crowd brings us, and I have no doubt that this will be a really passionate display from the home support. We need to harness that and use it but not be reckless with it. We need to concentrate on the game and not get too emotional. Howe, whose statesmanlike handling of the Isak saga throughout the summer has been first class, is right to call for restraint. If the social media characterization of Joe Linton as a Vinnie Jones reincarnate is anything to go by this week, but the black and white hot atmosphere created on the night itself will be an early test of Liverpool's title credentials. Unbeaten at St. James Park for 10 years, a display brimming with championship composure will go a long way towards silencing the Gallowgate and emerging with crucial points intact. And then, before September 1st, maybe even Isak is taken from Tyneside too. Alisson Becker. We want to keep fighting for titles and playing at a really high level. Alisson Becker remains hungrier than ever to achieve success with Liverpool after reaching the milestone of 300 appearances for the club. The Brazilian, who arrived from AS Roma in 2018, became the 7th goalkeeper in the Reds' history to hit a triple century of outings when he started the Premier League opener with AFC Bournemouth last week. A lifter of 7 major honours while on Merseyside, Alisson's latest ambition is to build on the title win from Arne Slot's first season in charge. The 32-year-old said, "Being a while at Liverpool allowed me to have 2 different managers. One that made history here, changed even the mentality from the way supporters were seeing the game and also the players who are here at the moment. Jurgen Klopp was great at that, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to work together with him. But then after he left came Arne Slot, and when a top manager leaves, you think, oh, with the new manager we're going to struggle. But that was the opposite with Arne. I think he's a really smart manager, so had similar ideas as Jurgen but a different style of managing. A really smart guy, intelligent, knows the game, and I think he's able to take out the best qualities of the players as well. It was really important for me that we started in a successful way in the first season under the control of a new manager, and also seeing that he has the standards for Liverpool FC, because this is what we want here. We want to keep fighting for titles, we want to keep playing at a really good level, really high level. And this is what Arne can make us do during this time. It's really important for me." Liverpool's defense of the Premier League crown began with the earning of 3 points from a dramatic spectacle with Bournemouth at Anfield. Their second game of 2025-26 is away from the comforts of home, traveling to Newcastle United for a Monday night showdown. Newcastle away is always tough to play, but it's a great place for a football player who likes a big challenge, Alisson continued. That's what we are here at Liverpool FC. That's how a player who plays at the highest level has to be. We like these kind of games, we like to play these kind of games, but we know that we're going to face a great opponent that in the last 2-3 years has grown a lot, played really good football, really effective football. They have a really strong team, and I think their supporters make an amazing atmosphere at their ground. So, we have to be ready to give our best if we want to get the chance to get 3 points. Liverpool push to sign Guéhi. According to the Mirror, Liverpool are still pushing to sign Marc Guéhi from Crystal Palace this summer. The report claims that it's unlikely the Premier League champions will pay over £30 million for the centre-back, who the Eagles value closer to £45 million. It said that Liverpool remain in contact with Guéhi, and they view him as a strong, accomplished and composed defender who has a big future at Anfield. The England international will be available for free next summer, with his contract set to expire in June 2026. Liverpool's instant response to Crystal Palace statement on Marc Guéhi transfer. Liverpool are looking to strengthen their defense this summer, and Crystal Palace captain Marc Guéhi is their top target, with the England international out of contract next summer. Liverpool are still pushing to sign Marc Guéhi amid a £70 million transfer tug-of-war at Crystal Palace. Palace chairman Steve Parish has hinted they are ready to sell despite already losing Ebereki Eze, who is set to join Arsenal in a £67.5 million deal. But Palace boss Oliver Glasner has insisted they cannot afford to allow Guéhi leave Selhurst Park at such a late stage in the window when it would be difficult to replace him. And at the heart of the dilemma is Palace's fear that they could lose Guéhi for free next summer, having turned down bids of £70 million for the England defender last summer. That decision could come back to haunt them because Newcastle were ready to break the bank to sign Guéhi, who now only has 1 year left on his contract. Despite the uncertainty, Liverpool remain keen on Guéhi and are ready to do a deal before the end of this window, but will not pay over the odds because they know he will be a free agent next summer. Gary Lineker risks upsetting Alan Shearer with Newcastle versus Liverpool prediction. Gary Lineker jokingly claimed he is looking to upset Alan Shearer with his pre-match prediction for Newcastle United versus Liverpool on Monday night. The Reds travel to St James Park looking to build on last week's 4-2 win over Bournemouth, while Newcastle drew 0-0 in a drab match against Aston Villa. But the visit of Liverpool should provide more excitement, especially with the final match of the second round of Premier League fixtures set against the ongoing saga surrounding Alexander Isak. The Sweden forward continues to train alone as he angles for a move to Liverpool, with Eddie Howe confirming the 25-year-old won't be involved against the Premier League champions on Monday. It means Anthony Gordon is expected to lead the line once again as a central striker. Despite that, Lineker is hoping for goals in the northeast, and the former Match of the Day presenter predicted Liverpool will just shave a 5-goal cracker. Do I upset Alan Shearer? Or do I not upset Alan Shearer? Lineker told the Premier League's website as he gave his verdict on all 10 weekend matches. I think I'm going to upset him. All the turmoil around the club with Isak is going to have a knock-on effect, however good they did last season. I think there will be goals, 3-2 Liverpool. Given the last 5 meetings between the clubs have resulted in 20 goals, included a 3-3 draw when they last faced off at St. James Park, predicting goals should be a safe bet. The Reds will hope to carry the same offensive threat as was shown last week against Bournemouth, but add more defensive resolve. Speaking ahead of the game, Arne Slot claimed the return of Ryan Gravenberch should strengthen Liverpool's porous core, and said he expects to face a hostile atmosphere on the banks of the Tyne. If you go to Newcastle, you know what to expect, said the Dutchman in Thursday's press conference. We've played them 3 times last season, and twice their intensity levels were above ours. They have players for this, but they also have players that are so comfortable on the ball, so one of the best teams in the league. And one of the most difficult away games that you can have in the season, especially, as you say it here, under the lights. Howe also said he is expecting an electric atmosphere in Newcastle's first home game of the season. I have no doubt this will be a really passionate display from the home support. We need to use that, but not be reckless with it, he said. We've got to concentrate and deliver our game plan, but using the energy from the crowd will be vital for us. Thanks for watching. Like and comment and subscribe.